In this video, we're going to take a look at a few other elements that we might see on a form. So here is the HTML code for a text box, a text area, and a select list. So we've already seen a text box. That is an input type equals text. That creates the text box. And this one is has a name of name and an ID of name, and that's where the label says first name. We're asking the user for their first name. We've seen that before. Let's look at a different kind of text input, and that's a text area. So here we have a label for comment, and this is the ID of comment down here in this thing called a text area. So a text area, we give it a name equals comment, and ID is also comment, and we have to specify the number of rows. So this is going to have 5 rows for the user to type in their comment, and each row is going to be 40 columns. So if you do the math there, they can type in a message up to 200 characters long using the 5 rows and 40 columns that we provided to them. And here's the closing text area. So that's a text area element. Okay. The next thing we're going to look at is a select list. And we've all seen these. This is where you can click in a box and select a value. In this case, it's going to be for the country. So we have a select is the type of control. It just says select. It doesn't say select list, even though it's called a select list. Here's the opening select, and here's the closing of the select list. And then we have some spots for options. So we have an option value equals, and that's an empty string / option. So that doesn't show anything, and that's what's probably going to be the default when this comes up. And when the user clicks on the box, they'll see options for USA. And then we have a value set for each one of these options. USA is the value for this one, which is Canada. So Canada is what gets displayed. Can is the value that would get submitted to the form to the server when the form gets submitted. And option value equals Mexico. So that's how you would do a list of things for the users to choose from. Here's some JavaScript that we can use to interact with this, with these objects. So here you can see we're pulling out the value of whatever they have typed in the name field. And then we're also pulling out the value of whatever they have typed in the comment field, and we're storing them in some constants called name and comment, which makes perfectly good sense. And then we're going to do some checking. If name's length equals 0, they haven't entered anything for their name. We're going to do some input validation and tell them to enter a name. If their comment length is 0, we can tell them to enter a comment. And then we're pulling the value out of that country select list. And then we're going to do some testing. If the country is equal to USA, now we just put comments in here, but you could write whatever code you wanted to process. If it's for the USA, if it's Canada, you could have some different code here to process Canadian entries. And if it's Mexico, you could have some code to process Mexico. And if it wasn't one of those 3, we'll pop up an alert that says, hey, you need to select a country. Meaning they left it on this empty string value. They never selected anything. So there's some input validation there. We can also use those value fields to separate, reset, or apply values to certain things. So I can get the country.value and reset it back to the empty string. The name.value, I can reset it back to an empty string. And the comment.value, we can set that as well.